Here's the story of a bearish trader who was selling into every single bounce. All his orders hit the bid, such a sucker. Sometimes you buy the dip. It's the story of a bullish trader who was buying each down tick he saw. He averaged down and rarely stopped out on the edge of blowing up. Until one day they subscribed to Routine Trader and realized they can do both buy and sell. That there are two sides to Mr. Market, and beating him both ways is pretty swell. Yeah, pretty swell, so very swell. Beating Mr. Market both ways is pretty swell.
Cheers to another trading day in the Casual Friday Retail Trading Team. This is Master coming to you live from Puppet Show Central, and this is your routine briefing. So we are going to start together and do it all together nice and early today, starting with the completion of this first minute candle. So I'm going to go ahead and switch to the trading screen, which is not that or that, but is in fact this, and we're going to see what we got going on today. So the first element of the potential opportunities we are looking for is going to revolve around price closing outside this range and making a higher, lower, low. Based on just the general chop from today, I'm not rushing into a trade. I will jump in pretty quickly. I better get out of sim mode here. I will jump in pretty quickly to a bullish move to the upside here. Yet on the bear side, I am in no rush. Just because you can see a bunch of those wicks below. So we'll see what happens here. Let me make sure my trade copying is all on. Stand by just for a little test run here. Sure. And we'll talk a little bit about the structure as well, by the way, as the day moves forward. All right, very good. So we're going to go ahead and get involved. Put my order right here and see if they give us fill. And we're in. So we're going to set the stop nice and tight here to start off. No hero stuff. 57 points down, 57 points up. That'll be our first trade. If it works, nice. If it doesn't, well, we'll get back in a little bit later. So that's what I got going on here, and we'll see what happens in the first minute here, and we'll talk about what we got going on in just a second. Okay, so on the 50-minute chart here, what I'm watching, which is why I was so excited about I wouldn't say excited, but more willing to jump into that bullish trade versus a bearish trade right out of the gate here, is you can see we do have that nice candle structure setting us up for a potential move a little bit higher. I'm going to move this stop just a second here. Good. I want to be outside those two wicks here and see if we don't get that fill. In terms of our normal patterns, we don't really have ones. I'm going to pull the document and kind of look around here. I'm not really seeing anything super salient. I'm just kind of playing the candle here for this first trade. And if it works out, great. And if it doesn't, we can get into the second trade. Look at my little performance here. Okay, making sure everything is kosher, as they say. Yeah, so in terms of if you want to go to that routine day trading document that I talked a lot about yesterday, it's in the description of this video. Like everything else, you can see what I'm talking about in terms of the candles. So what I was seeing here is it looked a little bit kind of like you had a combination of a doji, which would be candle 2, and candle 4 there. So definitely lending to the bull case. In terms of patterns, a bit of a not really seeing too much ABCD quite yet. Not seeing what were we calling? We're calling it patterns B and D. Not seeing that break. So if anything, we're kind of looking at, I think, ABCD to the favoring the bulls, and we'll see if that follows through. So be cool to get a fill here, and I can just spend the rest of the time and the rest of the day talking about, not the rest of the day, but the rest of this video talking about the general price action and levels to watch, and then we'll go through the warm-up document as well. So let me go ahead and put in that first minute range. I'm going to go ahead and change the colors here just so we don't get confused. A little bit higher, and we're done for the day, done for the week. Fingers crossed. I don't get too excited because very often you see, let's see, 63, 62.50. I'm actually going to move this up just a wee bit here. 62.50. Very often you see price kind of shoot up, get close to it, close to our target, and then pop back. So I'm not counting my chickens as they have not yet hatched. And so we'll wait. So yeah, so in terms of the pattern here, looking at those various patterns identified in that routine day trading document, again, kind of looking at that ABCD type look, favoring the bulls. So it's going to be that first picture. So we had the tentative A to B here, B to C, and this was potentially that D leg. Again, if you look at it here, A to B, B to C, potentially that D leg, but it's not clean. We don't have that clean look. So if I try to extrapolate those today, there is no question that it is not clean. So we don't have that clean pattern. Again, I like to get in these opening range break trades just because they have such a high win rate for me. Yet, in terms of the probabilities of this one, I would say that it's not amazing, just again, given I don't see a super clear look yet. So the argument would be potentially putting in kind of this inverse head and shoulders look, and I think that's kind of why we're exploding out of the gate. Yet it's not clear by any means quite yet. So we will wait and see in terms of that. And while we wait and see, let's look at our 50-minute chart here. I'm going to go ahead and start this over and draw some trend lines. In fact, we're going to make this a hourly chart just for a minute here to get a cleaner look, and then we'll go back to that 15-minute. But as of now, we're just kind of in no man's land. Like I said, I have this trade targeting that 93 area up there, yet it is by no means a strong trade. So we're going to look at this hourly chart while we wait. And then we'll also get this warm-up document handled as well. So my median time in trade, by the way, is about 8 minutes. It tends to be the longer that I'm in a trade, the more likely it is not to go my way. So the longer that we are in this trade, the more likely it is to go back the other way just based on my back testing. So we'll see, and you're seeing it kind of happen right now. You can see my stop is down here right about 15,031. Again, ugly look. Low probability trade out of the gate. So it'd be nice to win, but it is by no means guaranteed or even probable given today's look. So we're just going to draw our basic levels and go from there. Wait for the stop or wait for the profit. So this is hourly chart on the left here that I'm making moves on just to keep it a little bit cleaner. Yes, sir, Mr. Ernie, I do not look at the lovely calendar as I didn't do so in the back testing, so I reckon I won't do it now. So either the news will help or hurt. Let's see what that news is. Just for the sake of anybody who cares. So it's PMI, it's a red event, so potentially significantly market moving. We'll see what happens. We'll see if the trade even survives until then. So you can see we have a descending triangle today. I really think, again, no need to complicate. I don't need to draw too many pretty trend lines. It's what you see there is what you get. We'll draw a couple additional lines at the overnight high and low. Overnight low is right there. You can see it put in pre-market. Overnight high right here. Color those yellow just to keep it nice and clear. As time moves on here, I'm going to go ahead and move my stop up. Actually not that much of a difference, so we'll leave it at 62 there. Make sure the profit target is 1-to-1. And no worries, yep, I'm hanging out long. We got the break above my little opening range there, close above, higher high, and we just didn't get that follow through yet. So in terms of the open today, I'm waiting to see what happens relative to this trade. So far, again, it's looking like that open rejection reverse, which has a high probability chop. So I'm going to go ahead and fill out some of this warm-up document as we wait for the lovely stop to come here. Again, it's a very choppy look today on the day trading time frame. I've seen this a million times in the various back tests. You have these descending triangles. We have a bunch of space in between. You have potential inverse head and shoulders setting up on a shorter time frame, but really you just have kind of chop trying to figure out balance, and you see that right there. So you have the open rejection reverse where we did kind of the opening price itself somewhere in the middle here, and we popped around it. Yep, we'll see if they run the stops or what they do here. Ernie, it's looking pretty heavy. We're right back in that opening range. So open rejection reverse is today's open. If it makes a new low here, so if it takes out my stop, it becomes open auction, which is the choppiest type of day. So open rejection reverse now, tentatively bullish. We'll wait and see. They take out my stop, it becomes open auction, and that'll be that. All right, there we go. So today it's an open auction, the choppiest type of day, and we'll watch now if they give us that overnight low trap. All right. Overnight inventory is down and balanced. And let's see if there's any other significant levels. So I'm not looking for a breakdown trade here, by the way. I will take the first available long. Going to pyramid into that. So I'll start off with one contract, risk a little, and then scale up to see if we can't still end the day on a green note. Usually when I lose that first trade, the day is small red. So we'll see what happens. So look at our daily chart here as we wait for the news to come out. Same levels from yesterday. You can see those in that warm-up document. And you can see this yesterday's candle, very important. Outside bar, potentially bullish engulfing. So we'll see what happens today. I think a new low relative to that candle is a pretty significant sign of a reversal. So here comes that overnight low trap potentially. Watch this very closely. Besides that, warm-up document is updated. Volatility continues to be non-existent. /VX is up a little bit today, though. That's notable. News dropping in 10 seconds. 19.8. So we are outside the expected move so far today, by the way. No surprise. Expected move zone is really 15,140 on the NQs here is the lower edge of that zone. So if we get below 15,472, we have that outlier look. So we'll be mindful of that. I'm in no rush to get involved in quite this spot. As you can see here, we have both that prior day low and we're kind of hanging out around that overnight low here. So I'm still looking for that long trade, which again, I will pyramid if that opportunity presents itself. What is our lovely hogs doing today? Lean Hogs continues to outperform. You just love to see it. Well, not really, Ernie. They're actually down today. I was looking at /GC and got excited real quick. Yeah, this volatility is super notable, actually. So I'm looking at it right now. I'm looking also at the various other internals. We do have that look of a potential bearish trend. So we'll be mindful of that. Again, I'm not looking to get involved on the short side until we get below this prior day low, just because this zone here is really has a strong potential for at least a mini reverse higher because you have the overnight low, you have that prior day low, and you have just a general bull sense of the market. So while we wait here, let's draw a longer term trend line. This is again the 15-minute chart. So we'll see what we got going from this low to here, and we're going to watch that closely. So I do think, by the way, if we start to build time volume below here, you make that thrust, especially with the internals and various volatility indicators. I do think you could see a decent move lower. So we'll wait and see. Levels are still what you see on that warm-up document if you're following along. We're definitely far outside the expected move to the downside. Remember that 72 level? I'll mark here with a dashed line. This level beyond here is an outlier. So again, definitely expecting some type of reversal play coming up here. Overnight low trap right around that trend line. So for my signal, I'm waiting on that 4-fractal reversal. So either we'll have a big thrust that'll push us back above that green dash line here, or the next candle will make a higher high, and that'll give me my first entry for the second trade, which I'm going to again pyramid into if it plays out. Alternatively, if we do make a lower low here, I'm going to go ahead and get involved in that short, keep the stop nice and tight. Yeah, that will be showing some potential acceptance below this trend line, that overnight low, kind of the similar look that we had the other day. And like I said, with volatility and internals where they are, it does look like we may have a bit of an extension to the downside. So keeping the stop definitely tight here, though, as we are near that outlier zone. There we go. Fancy for 2750. take us right below that prior day low. I'm not going to pyramid into the short if it works. I will take the profits and then just look to get one more trade. And if we're looking for a pattern, if we're looking for our patterns as well, this is potentially that D leg. So again, the risk reward on the short, not great, which is why I'm keeping that stop so tight and why I'm not pyramiding. I'm just trying to get that quick little scalp based on the momentum. So we'll see. May have to wait a second. We're definitely overextended. Just a matter if they want to recover that overnight low or go test the prior day low first. Again, if we do test this prior day low, I see that as a potential confirmation of a trendy type look to the downside. So this is delayed data, but we had that 3 fractal reversal that I always talk about where we broke below. So if you look 4 days back on this candle, it would have been here. As soon as we broke this low, the bears did gain that momentum, especially as we didn't recover that high. So that signal that I see on that document, in the routine day trading document, that applies to all time frames. So if the bears do take out yesterday's low, we may want to look for that extension. My next level beyond that is going to be all the way down at 348. So there's obviously plenty of support all the way down to 348. Yeah, that is my major level there. So we'll be watching for that. Again, right now we're still just consolidating and potentially about to recover that overnight low. A little bit lower, I'm going to move my stop down, move my target up. Okay. I am not looking to go long here. I think this is just stop running. So we're going to give it a little bit longer. And I'll probably just end up hopping right back on that short. And that'll be my last trade if it fails, by the way. It'll be my 3rd strike. Second time this week. It's been a pretty good week because of the winning trades, but the 2 choppy days have been quite the stop runny choppy days. So yeah, I'm going to jump right back into this. And I am going to now pyramid. So what am I looking for to get back in? Again, that 4 fractal reversal. So just because this candle makes a lower low here, I'm not going to necessarily hop back in. I want to see that signal that you see in the routine day trading document. And the reason I'm not looking long, by the way, is remember one of the key tenets of the strategy is not to fade that 50-minute candle. You can see 50-minute candle, although it's becoming kind of a doji there, it is still red. So I will continue to respect that until either 10 o'clock prints and we see the continuation to the upside, or again, you get that signal to take the short again. So I will resume my short operation if price touches that white line right there. I will be keeping this tight. Okay, we have the confirmation. Got the follow through there a little bit. So assuming this doesn't get stopped, very well might get stopped, by the way. These days, like I said, tend to not work out for the strategy. I don't even need to talk about it because we're about to get stopped right now, so we'll see. All right, so that concludes my trading day. It would be the third strike. So yeah, no surprise. Kind of looked like it as soon as the market opened here. This is one of the worst looking patterns. You see it throughout the back test. So what can you do? That is a day. So still a fine week, but those 2-3 strike days, no fun. No fun. So before we hop off here, I'll just go through the various levels. If you just check out this warp document, I'll have to update today's trade log. But if you check out this warm-up document, you can see these levels here. These are going to be everything that's important today, especially that low from yesterday. So if we break that low from yesterday, that definitely changes things, and I'll be looking for that continuation. So we will see what happens. And besides that, I will post anything on the Twitters if we do get something interesting that opens up, and we will go from there. So thank you for tuning in to this relatively short live trading session today. Thanks to the wonderful choppy market. And I will push out a newsletter here shortly as well. So until then, all the resources you can see, all the various strategies and such are in the description of this video. And if you did enjoy today's stream and you found it useful, please give the video a thumbs up to help with that YouTube algorithm. I also appreciate any engagement in the comment section of the video itself. So I thank you for your attention. I hope you have an excellent weekend, and stay classy until tomorrow, or stay classy until Monday. Cheers.